In my video, Declaration of Non-Intercourse, I made a reference to a classical Greek play by Aristophanes titled Lysistrata. Now, one person was brave enough in the comments to say, "What you talking about, Jim?" Now, I don't expect that everybody knows about that play. It's by a dead white guy. They don't have you read that stuff in school. Now, I only know about it because I have a particular interest in politics, and so it caught my attention. The person that asked the question was 99, so she gets a gold star. Wait a minute, in fact, she gets 99 gold stars for asking. I'll probably make lots of obscure references in my video, and some of them actually have interesting stories behind them. I say them just to amuse myself, but don't be afraid to ask in the comments to say, "Jim, explain this. What is this all about?" Especially because this play had a nice tie-in to the double entendre of the title. Aristophanes made several plays about the issue of war and peace because he was there in Athens during the Peloponnesian War between Athens and its allies and Sparta. In the introduction to Lysistrata, it refers to 3 plays that he made on the subject of peace. Now, the first play was the Aristophanes, in which an individual escapes the hardship of war by negotiating a separate peace just for themselves. The second play discussed here in the introduction was titled Peace. In this case, an ambassador ascends to heaven to negotiate an end of conflict. Lysistrata is the third one that it talks about, and it's my favorite. Lysistrata is a comedy, and in this play, the women of Athens approach the women of Sparta, their own allies. The allies of Sparta bring all of the women together with a plan to end the Peloponnesian War. Now, women can't vote at this time. How is it that they're going to put a stop to a war that the democracy, the democratic city of Athens, the men have chosen to engage in with Sparta? What they're going to do is they're going to stop having sex until the war ends. Now, Lysistrata, whose idea this is, calls to Athens the women of Sparta and all of their allies to explain her plan and to take an oath to put it into effect. And what I'm going to read from here is that oath that was pledged by the women of those various Greek cities. "To husband or lover I'll not open my thighs, though he bring proof of love of monstrous size. But still at home, ignoring him, I'll stay, beautifully clad in saffron silk all day, that so his passion I may swell and pinch, I'll fight him to the very last inch. If, spite of hostile knees, he rapes me there, I'll put him out, so frigid and aloof, nor wiggle with my toes stretched at the roof, nor crouch like craven lions with arse in the air. If I keep faith, then bounteous cups be mine. If not, to nauseous water change this wine." One thing that I really like about this play is it shows a Western attitude about sex before it was corrupted by the barbaric influence of Christianity. There is lots of ribald language in this play. There are plenty of references to how much the women love having sex. There are references to dildos. There are references to grooming of the pubic areas. It's a very open and, dare I say, normal attitude towards sex. Now, these women are no faint damsels in distress. They are active and involved in changing their environment by using the one political tool that they have in their arsenal. Now, it actually works. It has several funny scenes about how the women are teasing the men. At the culmination of their success, the women have convinced the men to end the war. So the representatives of Athens and Sparta come together to negotiate the Treaty of Peace, because until that is concluded, there's no sex for anybody. And don't be mistaken that this was not a hardship on the women. It was very difficult for Lysistrata to keep all of the women together, because they kept trying to escape to have sex with their husbands, because unlike Christians, they love sex. Now, at this scene, when the Spartans and the Athenian representatives are getting together to negotiate, they turn to her to set the terms of the peace, and she becomes the mediator. And one of the things that she's doing in this is she's assigning blame where it's due to determine, how things should be divided up afterwards. Interestingly, she begins by putting blame on both sides, and this issue is actually relevant to today. Reading from the play. First, I reproach you both sides equally, that when Pele and Olympus, at Pathos, and the many other shrines that I could name, you sprinkle from one cup the altars common to all Hellenes, yet you rack Hellenic cities, bloody Hellas, with deaths of her own sons, while yonder clangs the gathering menace of barbarians. Let me repeat those last couple of lines. You rack Hellenic cities, bloody Hellas, with deaths of her own sons, while yonder clangs the gathering menace of barbarians. It reminds us of the politics in America today, where the demagogues of a certain party have taken the side of our enemies and forgotten that we are unified as Americans against the barbarian hordes of anti-modernity. Now, if you haven't read the play, I recommend it to you. It's a little bit over 40 pages, but it's a ribald tale, and it gives a picture of what Western life was like before the corrupting influence of Christianity. Three, two, one. One interesting thing that we, modern Americans, should have learned from history, in the example of the Athenian democracy, relative to the debacle that occurred at the Battle of Sicily, is that the Athenians were lured into that fight by Alcibiades, a sophist, a demagogue, someone that could give a really good speech. Now, would we be fooled today into electing leadership that lacks substance but could turn a nice phrase?